Jerry Michael Reinsdorf, born February 25, 1936, is a CPA, lawyer and an owner of the NBA's Chicago Bulls and the MLB's Chicago White Sox. He started his professional life as a tax attorney with the Internal Revenue Service. He has been the head of the White Sox and Bulls for over 35 years. He made his initial fortune in real estate, taking advantage of the Frank Lyon Company v. United States decision by the United States Supreme Court, which allowed economic owners of realty to sell property and lease it back, while transferring the tax deduction for depreciation to the title owner. As the owner and chairman of the Chicago Bulls since 1985, he has turned the franchise into a lucrative business that won 6 NBA championships in the 1990s, 1991 to 1993 and 1996 to 1998. He is controversial for his involvement, along with Jerry Krause, in breaking up the championship team by not hiring back Phil Jackson. He hired Michael Jordan as a baseball player during his sabbatical from basketball. He also moved the Bulls from Chicago Stadium to the United Center. Since purchasing the White Sox in 1981, the franchise made the playoffs in 1983 for the first time since 1959, and won the World Series in 2005 for the first time since 1917. Reinsdorf moved the White Sox from Comiskey Park to New Comiskey Park in 1991, which was renamed U.S. Cellular Field in 2003, and once again to Guaranteed Rate Field in 2016. In both sporting endeavors, he has developed a reputation as an anti-labor union hardliner. Since the early 1990s, he has been considered one of the most, if not the most, influential basketball owners. He has been influential in instituting the salary cap and revenue sharing. On April 4, 2016, Reinsdorf was elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as a contributor. 2. Reinsdorf was born to a Jewish family in Brooklyn, New York. 3-4, he attended Erasmus Hall High School in Brooklyn. 5, and he was the son of a sewing machine salesman. 6, a lifelong baseball fan who grew up in the shadows of Ebbets Field. 7, Reinsdorf was in the stands the day Jackie Robinson debuted for the Brooklyn Dodgers, breaking the color barrier which prevented black players from serving on major league teams. 8. Reinsdorf earned a bachelor's degree from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. 9, where he became a member of Alpha Epsilon Pi. 10, he subsequently moved to Chicago in 1957. 9, Reinsdorf became a CPA and lawyer. 11, as well as a registered mortgage underwriter and a certified review appraiser. 9-12, he leveraged a full scholarship offer from the University of Chicago Law School into a scholarship from the Northwestern University School of Law. 7. His first job after graduating from Northwestern in 1960 was a tax delinquency case of Bill Veeck, who at the time owned the White Sox. 6. In 1964, Reinsdorf went into private practice. He developed a specialty in real estate partnership tax shelters. He sold his business interests in the real estate partnership in 1973 and formed Balcor, which raised $650 million to invest in buildings under construction. He sold Balcor in 1982 for $102 million to Shearson Lehman Brothers, the investment banking and brokerage arm of American Express. 6. However, he continued to be president of the company for several years thereafter. 13. In 1981 he was wealthy enough to purchase the White Sox for $19 million. 6. The purchase was brokered by American National Bank, who arranged for a limited partnership. 14. He followed previous eccentric White Sox owners Charles Comiskey, who was known as a miser, and Veeck, who was known as a prankster who gutted the team by trading away promising prospects. 15-16, soon after buying the White Sox, he signed Greg Luzinski and Carlton Fisk. He also tripled the team promotional budget and increased the number of team scouts from 12 to 20. By the 1983 Major League Baseball season, the White Sox made the playoffs with the best record in the major leagues. 6-16, the team initially signed a television deal with the newly founded Sportsvision under the new leadership of Chairman Reinsdorf and Vice Chairman Eddie Einhorn, but that arrangement quickly fizzled. 17, Einhorn continued as vice chairman of the White Sox until his death in 2016. 18. In 1985, following in the footsteps of Einhorn, who had purchased the United States Football League's Chicago Blitz franchise in 1984, 19, He purchased the Chicago Bulls as part of a syndicate for $16 million and quickly turned the team from one that averaged 6,365 fans per game at the 17,339-seat Chicago Stadium in 1985 into one with an 8,000-person season ticket waiting list. 6. He did so by drafting Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen, and trading for Bill Cartwright to join John Paxson and Michael Jordan under the tutelage of head coach Doug Collins. In 1989, the team signed Phil Jackson as the final piece of the championship puzzle. 20. From November 20, 1987 through Jordan's 1999 retirement, the Bulls sold out every game. 21. In the months prior to the purchase, Milwaukee businessman Marvin Fishman had been awarded a $16.2 million judgment against the Bulls. 22. Fishman had been illegally blocked from purchasing the team in 1972. 23. Reinsdorf purchased the team from an ownership group that included Lamar Hunt, George Steinbrenner, Walter Shorenstein, Jonathan Kovler, Lester Crown, Philip Klutznick, and the estate of Arthur Wirtz, 19, and he held a $9.2 million controlling interest in the team. 21. Reinsdorf's share of 56.8% of the team was purchased from Klutznick, Steinbrenner, Shorenstein and the estate of Wirtz. 24. His purchase ended an era in which the Bulls were managed by committee with decisions by conference call, verdicts by vote. 25. Reinsdorf acquired his majority interests on March 11, 1985 and Kovler sold his 7% stake in the team on January 29, 1986, bringing Reinsdorf's interest to 63%. 26-27. The following week Reinsdorf ousted Rod Thorne as general manager and replaced him with Jerry Krause. 28. Jerry Reinsdorf 29. The White Sox have won American League regular season division championships in 1983, 1993, 2000, 2005 and 2008 under Reinsdorf and they won the 2005 World Series. 3. In addition, they were in first place of the Central Division at the conclusion of the strike-shortened 1994 Major League Baseball season. 3. The World Series victory made him only the third owner in the history of North American sports to win a championship in two different sports. The baseball championship boosted the value of the franchise to over $300 million. 15. When Reinsdorf signed Jordan after Jordan's announcement that he wanted to play baseball, many thought Jordan's drawing power provided an ulterior motive. 30. Reinsdorf, however, had tried to convince Jordan not to give up basketball. 31. But he did not attempt to make Jordan the highest paid player in the game like some feel he should have. 32.